Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Umineko When They Cry. It's been a little bit since I last recorded and I was trying to remember, where are we? We've been jumping around in terms of the timeline here quite a bit ever since Ange has been introduced into the story, so I don't really know where we are in the timeline necessarily, like, at all, or what Ange is even capable of, both in the realm of reality and also in the realm of magic. But it seems as if the Seven Sisters of Purgatory are going to be serving some sort of role. The previous video definitely emphasized that. So whatever is going on here takes place before the events of the previous video. However, in terms of like the overall timeline, I have absolutely no idea. Oh, and a reminder, Maria is now a witch. Oh, and then there's... yeah, that. I keep forgetting about this form for Maria's stuffed animal. Poor guy. I'm getting some awfully strange vibes here. And they were so energetic. As per usual, I was shocked by their sudden burst of activity right after they appeared. And on top of that, I was surprised that the innocent Sakutaro was on such good terms with the Seven Sisters. Yeah, when did that happen? It was one of the pacts of Mariage Sorcière, mutual non-aggression and non-interference. Member witches must respect each other's magic and creations. Even the sisters, who were normally shady and belligerent, treated fellow Alliance members as friends. So, to the Seven Sisters, Sakutaro was a mutual friend. Oh, poor buddy. You need to get out of here. He was loved by all of them, and they were even trying to steal him away from each other. The scene as they squeezed him and loved him was a bit charming. At a glance, you'd think that Sakutaro's casual atmosphere and the Seven Sisters' shady one would be like water and oil. It looked like they definitely wouldn't be compatible, and yet they were interacting in a friendly way like it was completely natural. If this wonderful alliance could join all the peoples of the world together, I wonder if everyone in the world would be able to become friends right away. Yeah, based on what we saw in the previous video, probably not. The oldest sister, Lucifer, gazed at my complexion as she advised this, speaking reservedly. In other words, she was saying that the burden might be heavy for me at this point in time.
そういう修行なの。エンジェはみんなが想像しているより才能と魔力があるよ。ちょっぴり辛いかなとは思うけど、今のエンジェなら挑戦する価値はあると思う。エンジェ、今から彼女たちを権限させる魔力を君に切り替える。つまり、エンジェが呼び出したのと同じ状態になるの。
So, what Maria Onade-chan was trying to say was something like this. To keep the Seven Sisters materialized, you are continuously burdened with a significant amount of magical power. Maybe you could say it was like training while wearing a weighted wristband.
ウリュウ、七姉妹全員はかなり大変。
Y'all ever see that Naruto
い
scene
きなりは厳しくない？ありが
with
とう、
the
さくら。
ankle weights?
でも、魔女になるための修行だしね。やれる
Good
ところまで
times,
やっ
good
てみるわ。
times. The seven of them certainly do seem boisterous. But even if this is for training, having them with me will surely distract me from my loneliness at least a little. I understood it would be an ordeal, but wanted to give it a shot.
もしも辛かったら無理をしないでね。みんなもエンジェが辛そうだったら加減してあげて。かしこまりました。
I wonder if this is something that led to her getting bullied at school. Oh, that's a lot of women.
それではエンジェ様、これより我ら煉獄の七姉妹はエンジェ様の家具となります。マリア卿、お願いいたします。
じゃあエンジェ、始めてもいい？いいわ。ちょっと緊張する。ウリュウ、いきなりは辛いかも。頭痛になりそうだったらすぐに魔力を減らしてね。じゃあ魔力ソースをエンジェに移すよ。
I don't really know how this is going to go, based on a lot of what we've seen. In an instant, the inside of my head felt very heavy. This is... yeah, it's tough. Until then, the inside of my head had only been used for myself. It was almost like it was now being used for 7 other people. They just stood there and blinked once or let out a single sigh, and that would put a strong pressure on my head.
マリア卿、恐れながら、やはり一度に七姉妹全員の負荷は重すぎるかと。
大丈夫。
Yeah, definitely.
やっぱりダメかな。権限に全勢力を使っちゃってる。日常生活と両立できないほどの負荷じゃ意味がない。何しろ魔女としてこれじゃあちょっと優雅じゃないね。ウリュウ、だからいきなりこんなに大勢は無理だって言った。みんな少し姿を消してあげて。
そうね、人数を減らした方が良さそう。アスモ、姿を消しなさい。
また私？末っ子いじめ反対。たまには上から消えてよ。
それじゃあ私が2番目に消えなきゃならないじゃない。
やだやだやだ。
アスモもレビアネーも騒がないの。そういう騒ぎが余計エンジェ様の負担になるのよ。あんたが騒ぐのも負担になるのよ、バカサタン。
I have to admit, all of this is straining me too. The 7 sisters started arguing over who should erase themselves first. The energy from that fight all became a burden, forcing Ange to bear an even greater headache. Uh-oh. We're losing visibility. Or consciousness. In the end, they decided the order with rock, paper, scissors, and 1, 2, 3, all of them disappeared. But even at that level, Ange was still far from comfortable. In the end, once 6 of them had erased themselves, I was finally able to calm my breathing. With my magical power, forget the 7 sisters, just one person is my limit. And is it the first person that she summoned yesterday? It is, I think. I'm pretty sure it was Mamon that we saw arrive first. And this is probably the reason.
エンジェ様、ちょっと頼りないです。
Mamon, who had won all of the rock, paper, scissors matches and was permitted to remain until the end, grumbled.
ウリュウ、マモン、そんなこと言っちゃダメ。エンジェはまだまだ修行中。大丈夫、エンジェ。頭痛、大丈夫？
Sakutaro stretched up on his tiptoes, trying to pat Ange's head. Watching this, Maria scratched her head, acknowledging that this sudden training had been too difficult.
ちょっと荒行すぎたかな。マリア、これくらいなら全然平気だけど、友達いっぱいいればいるほど楽しいし。
お姉ちゃんの凄さを改めて思い知るわ。
Apparently, when one reaches Maria One-chan's class, one can summon enough people to perform an orchestra. For a witch apprentice, that's awe-inspiring.
大丈夫ですか？エンジェ様。
ごめんなさいね。私にはあなた一人を呼び出すのがやっとみたい。
まあ、私はこれでもいいかな。だって、7姉妹で私だけがエンジェ様の家具を独り占めだし。いかがですか？エンジェ様。私一人なら不可にはなりませんか？
ええ、あなた一人ならなんとかね。
よかったー。なら、いっぱい修行して、いっぱい魔力を養ってください。
I can't remember. Mamon is greed, right?
そして、いつかきっと7姉妹で揃ってお仕えさせてください。約束ですよ。
After confirming that, for the time being, her own materialization wasn't causing any issues. Mamon immediately became cheery again and tried to make me promise to work harder. I see. That definitely fits with her being greed. Haha, I remember. But maybe you could also call it having a positive attitude.
約束するわ。そのくらいはいつかできなくちゃね。
So, I think maybe I addressed this before, but somebody in the comments did mention at one point that, yeah, the Seven Sisters as a group, I'm not really going to, fully, discern them. Like, I'm not going to see them individually. We started to see a little bit of that in episode 3 with Kanon having to fight, it wasn't Lucifer, was it? Whoever the oldest sister is. And, okay, so that kind of, brought one of them out of the pack. And of course, there is how they are individually killing, kind of. But now, I feel like in this episode, we really are going to start seeing them a little bit more individually. And somebody did say that'll eventually happen. This really might be the start of it. Which I'm cool with it. I gotta say, some of these sisters, they do make me feel a certain type of way. I'm not going to explain that any further. My headache finally abated and I relaxed both hands, which had been clutching at my head. Then Mamon stuck out her hand, helping me stand back up.
Maria, Ange, もうこんな時間だよ。もう部屋に戻らないと叱られる。
Wait, where are we going? Oh. I hadn't expected Sakutaro to talk about the time. I was brought back into reality. As though the light had disappeared, the vast world sunk into the darkness, and I was in a tiny, tiny bathroom stall sitting on a toilet. One-chan's grimoire was open on my lap. I looked at the clock. It was almost 8 o'clock. Time for lights out, okay. If I show up late for the roll call before lights out, not only will things get pretty annoying, but it'll cause trouble for my roommates and floormates. I couldn't care less about causing them trouble, but I don't want them messing with me later. Yeah, might as well avoid that. My free time by myself is already over for today. I'll sleep, wake up, tomorrow will begin, and another long, long gray-colored day will repeat again. I closed the grimoire and rose from the toilet seat. At that time, One-chan appeared again and spoke. Wait, so she can now appear with the book being closed? Oh wait, no, this is a grimoire. This isn't necessarily her diary. So I guess that kind of, still connects here. I had forgotten. The moment I'd returned to reality, Mamon's materialization had stopped. One more time, I created a strong image of the existence of Mamon in my mind. And there she is.
エンジ様ったらひどいです。いきなり私を消すなんて。そんなんじゃ、7姉妹を全員呼ぶなんて。 なかなかできませんよ。
ごめんなさい、うっかりしてたわ。
人間界に権限するのはすごい久しぶりなので、何から何まで興味深いです。ちょっぴりワクワクしてます。ここはどこですか？
聖ルチーア学園の寮。ここはその共用トイレの個室。各部屋にトイレはあるから、ここには誰も来ない。静かで、本を読むにはちょうどいいの。
ここの寮は本を読むにも、トイレの個室に隠れなきゃならないの？
Well, it also goes a little bit further than that.
文書でもやってるんですか？
I have a two-person room, so my roommate is always there. Our relationship is gloomy and it feels like I'm always getting ignored. The atmosphere is bad, so I really can't relax there. And as long as I'm not there, she can do what she likes, call her friends over, and chat away. It's more convenient for them too if I don't return until just before lights out. There's also a library, but there's a group that uses it as a meeting place, and they are always talking behind my back. There is really no other place than the fucking restroom. So I don't like to go there. During lunch, it's the bushes behind the school building. During the night, it's the stall and the shared bathroom in the dorms. Those are the only two hideaways that I can find peace. I opened the door to the stall and went out. I turned around, signaling with my eyes for Mamoon to come with me.
よくわからないけれど、エンジ様にとってとても快適とは言い難い場所だってことが分かったわ。
Yeah, it's pretty far from
早く
pleasant.
表に出ましょう。ここの空気、嫌い。
そう、ここの空気が一番まともなんだけどね。
I don't think that's what she means necessarily. When I left the bathroom and entered the corridor, because it was near lights out time, several kids who had gone to play in other rooms were dashing back to their own. When it came for lights out, we had to change into uniform pajamas that we hated and called prison clothes. Line up in the hallway and then go through the dorm leader's roll call. That sounds really stupid, but this is also like a really uptight type of, facility. Learning facility. Let's throw that one in there. Let's not try to make it more like a prison. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's been any schools such as this in anywhere in my area. I could be completely wrong, but private schools, especially ones where not only do you have to pay money, but you also have to have connections or whatever. Yeah, no, I don't know about any of those anywhere. So my experience and knowledge on them are very limited. On the off chance that someone was late, we would take collective responsibility, and all of the floor mates would have to undergo punishment in the form of volunteer work. Now that's voluntold work. As long as I avoided this, the girls would look at me coldly, and they wouldn't get in my way. That alone was enough for me. What a fun life here. Mamoon looked at the passing kids and the furnishings of the dorm with interest. Without paying her any particular attention, I hurried back to my room. In front of my room was my roommate, who had already changed into her prison clothes, chatting with some kids from the room next door. When they noticed me hurrying back, the topic of their conversation noticeably changed. They lowered their voices, stealing glances at me. I acted like I didn't notice, went into my room, and changed. Then I hastily went out into the corridor. Everyone was already lined up.
何これ？ここってお嬢様学校じゃないの？
Oh, it is.
刑務所みたい。バカみたい。
やっぱりそうよね。私もそう思ってるわ。刑務所よりさらに厳しい点は、素行が良くても刑期が短くならない点かしら。
After bad-mouthing the place, I noticed something. Having someone to listen to your complaints feels surprisingly good. Yeah, it's venting. Venting, ranting, anything like that is very good for you. Fortunately, Mamoon's form can only be seen by her summoner, me. And of course, there was no need to speak out loud for this conversation. All I had to do is speak inside my mind, so no one could listen in. Magic and the friends it creates might actually not be so bad.
こいつら、揃いも揃ってもやしみたい。
Yeah.
生きてないって感じ。
やめなさいよ。毎日姿を見られたら大変よ。
夢も希望もかけらほどもない人間なんて半魔法の塊だもの。私の姿なんて絶対に見えるわけがない。見ることもできない下等生物どもが。
あなたはその半魔法の毒素を持つ人間たちが これほどいる中でも平気なの？
エンジェ様が私を権限させてくださる限りは平気です。ただ、私を権限するために常に集中しなければならないでしょうから。ほら、同室の子に呼ばれてません？
Oh, whoops.
後宮さん、聞こえてる？来週からの終盤なんだけどさ、
She's probably trying to push a few more chores onto me. My roommate, who never even looked me in the eye, normally was smiling at me unpleasantly. But it'll be easier to have the weekly duty pushed onto me alone rather than doing it together with her. That's a small price to pay to have her continue to ignore me nonstop. Even so, with a completely shameless excuse, she sidestepped the issue for some reason and insisted on flipping the situation around, as though I should have come forward and done it of my own initiative. One of the special traits of this academy is that it's full of girls who don't know how to ask a favor.
何この子、ムカつく。眉間に思いっきり私の杭をねじ込んでやりたい。
Oh yeah, there's the violent tendency.
そうね。ぜひ今度お願いするわ。
Yeah, having a friend nearby all the time to complain to, it makes me happier than I thought it would. It really was lively with all the seven sisters gathered together. I'm sure just watching them mess around will be a lot of fun. I want to gain enough magical power to summon all the seven sisters at once, and soon. And then I'll keep training more and more and more, and finally summon the thing I really want to find.
エンジ様が本当に召喚したいものって何ですか？
The truth. Momo noticed my conversation with myself inside my head and asked about it blankly. I hesitated to talk about it, but then figured that there was no reason to hide it and told her.
家族よ。お父さん、お母さん、お兄ちゃん。
それってつまり死者の魂？異界の住人を呼び出すのは召喚だけど、死者の魂を呼び戻すのは反言で、それは全くの別物。反言はかなりの大魔法のはずですよ。
I know. So much so that even Maria One-chan can't do it at all. But that's the thing I want to find with magic the most. I've been warned that it's a very difficult high-level magic. So great that, in the worst case, I might not necessarily reach that point even after training for my whole life. Furthermore, I have no vessel. A vessel is vital for making magic succeed, whether it's summoning or resurrection. Because I don't have that, a magic that would already have been difficult is now hopeless. That's right. I have nothing to remember Dad or Mom by. However, by an extraordinary coincidence, I do have something to remember just Oni-chan by. And that's this.
そのピンクの玉の頭飾り？何それ？言っちゃ悪いけど、エンジェ様にはちょっと安物っぽい。
昔、お父さんに内緒でお母さんと一緒にお兄ちゃんに会って遊園地に遊びに行ったことがあるの。そこのクレーンゲームの景品。
I know it's cheap. I realize that it doesn't match my style, and I get that it's too childish. But this hair accessory is the only thing that makes me feel as though Battler Oni-chan is by my side. Which is sweet. I can respect that entirely. And now we're getting a flashback, which is nice. The glass case had been filled with plastic capsules packed with fun-looking things. It seemed that each capsule had some cute accessory in it. The game was to grab those with the crane, but I was young and it was too hard for me. I tried it several times, but I didn't even get close. Mom said that whatever was inside was probably cheap anyway, and we didn't even know what we'd get, so there was no point in getting all upset over it. But whether it was something cheap or not wasn't the problem. The process of grabbing happiness with my own hands felt really important and sacred to me, so I wanted the cheap thing inside more than anything. Oh my gosh, this is so cute. What the fuck? Hold on. Yeah, we need to look at this. I like that. That is so fucking cool. I don't know why, but like this imagery just plants a giant ass smile on my face. And then Battler Oni-chan came over after finishing a game of shooting soldiers with a gun and tried to do it for me. With his arms that were longer than mine, Oni-chan grasped the happiness that I couldn't reach. Oni-chan really was coordinated. It seems he often played with his friends at the arcades. After only 1 or 2 attempts, he grasped that thing on the other side of the glass with the crane that I hadn't even been able to touch, and threw it into the exit chute. When Oni-chan tossed me that capsule, I remember that he looked very, very reliable. For several days, I felt like opening the capsule would be a waste. And then one day, I finally opened it up. And what revealed itself inside was this pink jeweled hair accessory. Since that day, it's been a symbol for Oni-chan. And since I was young, I felt that having all 4 of us gathered, including Battler Oni-chan, was a precondition for a happy family. So I wanted Oni-chan and Dad to make up quickly. In my own way, I had treated this hair accessory as a charm for bringing my whole family together. So I always used to wear it. I wanted to feel my reliable, fun, and wonderful Oni-chan by my side all the time, and let him live in our house.
でも、お兄ちゃんの記憶はあまりに遠い。マリアお姉ちゃんがライオンのぬいぐるみからサクタラを生み出したようには簡単にできない。私は死者の魂を蘇らせる大魔法をいつか必ず身につける。そしてそれを成功させられる唯一の鍵が、よりしろがこれなの。
なるほど。その頭飾りにものすごい魔力を感じてたけど、そういうわけなのね。
魔力？お兄ちゃんのこれに魔力が宿ってるの？
エンジ様が宿らせている。エンジ様の兄を呼び出したいという強い思いが魔力を与えている。確かに反言は大魔法だけど、エンジ様はその魔法のために無意識のうちに着実に階段を登っているのは間違いない。
And I think we saw a little bit of resurrection in the previous episode. I think it was at the end when Kanona actually came back momentarily and was with Jessica.
嬉しいわ。私以外の人にそれを認めてもらえるのは。
Your own effort isn't something that you can observe by yourself. In that sense, even though these words came from a shady demon girl who controls one of the 7 deadly sins, they made me very happy.
反言の魔法に至るのと寿命を全うするのとどっちが早いかだけは私には保証できないけれども、でも挑む山の高さが高ければ高いほど、エンジェ様はくじけることがなかったなら、きっといつか私たちの元の主ベアトリーチェ様に匹敵するほどの大魔女になれると思います。
なれるかしら。大魔女になってお兄ちゃんを、家族を蘇らせることができるかしら。
反言の魔女エンジェ教、素敵。反言の魔女はかなりレアな魔女です。そんな魔女がご主人様なんてちょっと鼻が高いです。
Gonna be a pretty steep hill to climb, especially since she's starting at such a low point, and resurrection magic seems to be pretty high up there.
家具の価値も主の格に比例しますので、もうベアトリーチェ様さえ抜いちゃって天下無双の大魔女になってくださいね。煉獄の7姉妹を代表して心より応援申し上げます。
I thought that if a magical friend were to appear for me too, a cute kid like Sakutaro would be best. But even this 5th sister of the shady 7 sisters who controlled the 7 deadly sins was enough to calm my heart so much all by herself. Maria One-chan has probably known that since long ago. That's why she recommended the world of witches to me over and over and over again. And I kept on stubbornly rejecting her. I should have given in and started my training as a witch sooner. A year for a child is worth 10 years for an old person, right? Now I find my past self, which only ever complained, deplorable for wasting my precious time. Long after I turned off the lights and slipped into bed, Mamun continued to talk to me alongside my pillow. I promise, one day for sure, I will develop a magical power that can summon the 7 sisters, and I'll let them have a lively and fun time. The 7 of them make a single whole. None can be left out. Family must be together. I must bring them together. Yeah, good luck with that. Okay, so that was... Oh, wait. Where the hell are we now? My awareness began to return slowly. Unable to stand watching Aunt Rosa and Maria One-chan's relationship, I ran away from Beato's and Oni-chan's game, didn't I? So we're back to the fucking game board, finally. I've got to go back. I've got to go back, support Oni-chan, and quickly bring him back from this strange world of the witch's game. After all, as long as I'm here, I'm not allowed to call myself Ange. Yeah, you're Gretel now. At that time, I felt someone's presence. Oh, hello. When I turned around, I could see Momon there.
グレーテル様、そろそろお戻りになられないと、ゲームの進行に差し支えると、ベアトリーチェ様が仰せです。速やかにお戻りになられますように、お願い申し上げます。
ありがとう。もう戻るわ。
よかったじゃないですか。
何が？
バトラお兄ちゃんに出会えて。
皮肉？
そう聞こえるなら、そういうことにしてもらってもいいですけど。
ごめんなさい。言葉通りに受け取るべきね。ええ、そうよ。こんなおかしな世界であっても、お兄ちゃんに出会えて、心底に嬉しいわ。
So is the Mamoon here? Like, does she possess the memories and knowledge of, I guess, the future with Ange, as we are now back in the past? Or whatever? Basically, she's now following Beatrice in this game.
そして、お兄ちゃんのために、ベアトリーチェ様に打ち勝つ？
ええ、いつまでもこんな世界で遊ばれてちゃ困るもの。そろそろお家へ帰る時間なのよ。だから私が呼びに来たわ。
せいぜい頑張ってください。私、今の主はベアトリーチェ様ですので、応援はできませんが。知
ってるわ。
You know, there is something I wonder about.
1986年10月5日までは、あなたはそしてやがては、私の友人になるわ。
そしてやがては、その友人を捨てるわけですが、何しろ。
Yeah, you okay? Mamoon moaned as if she had bit her tongue, staggering as she clutched her chest. Apparently the rules apply to people other than me as well.
大丈夫。それ、結構辛いわよ。
失礼しました。グレーテル様。
いいえ、ありがとう。嬉しいわ、お兄ちゃんに出会えて。あなたの最初の問いへの答えよ。じゃあ、戻りましょう。私があまりぐずると、あなたが今の主人に怒られるわ。
はい、ご理解いただけて助かります。それではこっち。
Okay. I was wondering, like, why she kind of got cut off there, you know? I'm sure Momon was about to say, well, then this way. But then she stopped as though the film had been torn off at that point. It looked like she had suddenly frozen. Then I noticed she wasn't the only thing that had frozen. Even the air and floating bits of dust had frozen in place in empty space. A world where it seemed even time had frozen. Yeah. This looks like a portent that Birkenstill will appear. But the atmosphere was different somehow. Then I understood. It wasn't Birkenstill. It was the other witch.
調子はどうかしら、エンジェ。
Have we seen Lambda Delta at all so far in this episode? I can't remember.
ラムダデルタ、あなたにはルールの適用はないのね。
当たり前でしょ。ルールは他人を縛るためにあるのよ。自分をそれで縛るバカはいないわ。
Birkenstill is a witch who supports me, but this girl is different. This witch supports Beatrice. In other words, she's a being on the opposing side. But there's some kind of difference between her and Beatrice. Even compared to Birkenstill, there's something strange about Lambda Delta's existence. It's... how should I put it? Maybe like she's a being from a higher dimension. In any event, I was still unsure about how to deal with her. The only thing that was certain was that she was my enemy. No, just knowing that might be enough, but...
それで、私に何かご用？
So I was gonna mention, and I don't know if maybe I should hold off till the end, but I'll throw it out here. I mean, I'm still notating my my predictions, but I think perspective is going to be playing a much larger role in everything that's happening here, more than I thought. It also does seem strange that things are happening in a weird order of events, you know? Like, we never knew of Maria to be a witch. There was no indication of that. Definitely of her being like an apprentice witch or whatever, having some sort of connection with Beatrice, but never having this power, you know? Not to this crazy ass extent. And to try to be, you know, passing that on over to Ange. And also to be able to summon the Seven Sisters. I don't think that's ever been brought up. But that was only brought up after the whole thing with Sakutaro becoming not a stuffed animal anymore. Learning about, the flip side of whether she's happy or sad. You know, that's a perspective thing. And I guess and also multiple truths type of thing. And then all of these events happen, and then we come back here after the events have happened, and it's like, that's how it's always been. But there was never any indication beforehand that those things were like that, you know? Like this connection that we have here with Momon or the other Seven Sisters. But nothing has also come up that really tells us, you know, that was how it was, or it couldn't have been. I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck I'm trying to say anymore. Perspective seems very strange, and how the story continues, it's like it's still getting built up into how it's presented to us. Perspective, I think, has a lot more of a role here than I thought, as if our entry point into everything was not episode 1. If you guys are able to, like, understand anything I just said, you know, kudos to you.
あなたは私の敵のはず。そのあなたが私に得する話を聞かせる理由が思いつかないわ。つまり、耳を傾けた時点で負けということだわ。じゃあね。See you next time.
Oh, there's more of the English.
誤解しないで。私の相手はベルンであってあなたじゃないわ。つまり、私とあなたが共に得をする話はあり得るということよ。
悪いけど、私には聞く気がないわ。
Although I said that, I probably won't be released from this frozen time until Lambda Delta is satisfied. This itself might be proof that she's in a higher dimension than me. I haven't been given the option of just not listening to her. All I can do is try not to be shaken by anything she says and strengthen my mental guard. She'll probably try to make me believe something disadvantageous to me. Threatening me.
そんなに身構えなくてもいいってば。私はあなたの誤解を解きに来ただけよ。いえ、ちょっと違う。ベルンカステルがあなたについた嘘を教えてあげようと思ってやってきたのよ。
ベルンカステルが嘘？
あなたはベルンにベアトを倒せば兄が帰ってくるような。
さあ、あなたに話す気はないけど。
Yeah, fuck the negative thoughts. My brother coming home. I hadn't been promised anything that dreamlike. Getting just one person, only if I was lucky, had been a promise without very high hopes. But that's enough for me. After being promised an eternity of isolation, having a faint but still non-zero chance was like a shining beacon.
ある意味ベルンのその約束は嘘ではないわ。ベルンがそう約束したのならきっと、あなたがベアトを倒せば、バトラも両親も解放されて、あなたのところへ帰ってくる。
何の問題もないじゃない。
本気で？あの子は案外残酷よね。分かってて騙すなんて。
私がどう騙されてるというの？
Damn. I'm letting her take the initiative. But I won't be released until I lend an ear to her. So it's something I'll have to hear anyway. Even though I realized I was falling into a trap, I urged her forwards.
今は何年？
このゲーム版の世界のこと？ならば、1986年10月4日よ。
その通り。ならば、あなたがベアトに打ち勝ったなら、台風が去った10月6日に、島に囚われていた人々は帰還する。1986年の10月6日にね。
だから何？
あなたの1986年の10月6日はどうだった？親戚の家にいたんじゃなかったかしら。
I had been at the house of the only Sumidera my mother trusted, Grandpa, and we got a call. When I was playing with building blocks in the tatami room, we got that call. After watching to see that I had remembered, Lambda Delta laughed unpleasantly and spoke.
ねえ、あなたの1986年10月6日にバトラお兄ちゃん帰ってきた?
Guys, I think the sassy child over here is getting a little, a little freaky, and I don't like it. Even though I didn't understand what she was saying, I noticed an unpleasant sweat seeping out all over my face. I don't get it. I don't get it. What is this witch saying?
いい？あなたがベアトを倒せば、バトラは確かに解放されるわ。そしてお家へ帰るでしょうね。1986年のお家に。だってそうでしょ？バトラは1986年の10月4日から5日に閉じ込められてるんだもの。解放されたらその翌日に帰るのは当然でしょ？そしてあなたは1998年の人間。バトラが帰ってこなかった1998年の後宮エンジェ。意味わかる？
Is she trying to say that basically the Ange here that we've been introduced to will cease to exist? I'm sure she understands that, you know? Yeah, it's like we're entering a whole new timeline. Even I totally understand that.
素敵じゃない。私はすぐにおじいちゃんの家から帰るわ。そして私たちは出会う。めでたしめでたし。
ええ、後宮エンジェは家族に再会できるでしょうね。1986年に6歳の後宮エンジェはね。
私って誰？
後宮エンジェよ、18歳の。違うわ。後宮エンジェじゃない。そういう名前の魔女の駒なのよ。
I see what she's trying to do. Identity crisis time.
全くの別人。意味わかる？
I don't really get it anymore. Huh? Who am I? Huh?
だからベルンは残酷だなって思うの。いいえ、意地悪だなって思うのよね。そういう経験なくもないくせにね。
私何か騙されてる？
ああ、でもどうかベルン
Oh, she's got tears in her eyes. I just realized.
だって考えようによってはあの子は嘘をついてない。ベアトを倒せば家族が帰ってくる。後宮エンジェのところへ。でもその後宮エンジェがあなたのことだとは言ってないだろうけどね。
And a way that this is probably being achieved is Ange undergoing a whole new identity. She isn't Ushiromiya Ange anymore. In this game that we have going on here, she's Gretel. More specifically, she is Ange, a witch, the new Beatrice. Was it like that? Was it like that? What did Birkin still say to me again? Your assistance is required. Your family needs it. Birkin still started by saying that. Then I spoke. If I save them, does that mean my family will come home? And how did Bernkenstill answer that again? I cannot promise that. She did make me a promise in exchange for accepting this fight. Yes, this is what she said. In exchange, I will search for a fragment with the ideal world that you wish for. A world where your family comes home. Yeah, that's right. She didn't say any more than that, or than that she'd look for it. She didn't say that she'd find it. But I was prepared for that from the beginning. But even so, that child promised that as long as I didn't give up, there was a faint chance of it happening. What does she get from any of this, by the way? You know, people do things for something in return, typically. You know, if you're helping a friend out, you get a friend's, satisfaction. You get their thanks or something, their gratitude. And maybe that helps a friendship. But here, these are two people, one of them that truly does not exist, that is asking for a favor of somebody else. They don't know each other. And what is to really gain? on both sides. One side, we kind of have an idea. It's a faint hope that something can come of all of this for her, in her favor. For her family to be rescued, to be saved. But for Bernkenstill, what does this do for her? And in the end, she said this: I'm giving you a chance for revenge. In exchange, I promise to search for and bring you the happiest resolution among the possibilities you're capable of accepting. So that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody's gonna get saved either.
初めから辛い賭けになることは承知よ。だって私の1998年には家族はいない。絶対のゼロが揺らぐわずかの可能性と引き換えなら、私にはそれだけで価値がある。仮に復讐を成し遂げても徒労になるかもしれないと事前に脅されてるわ。だから
その部分に嘘はないわね。ベアとのゲーム版は完璧よ。あんたが立ち回ったところでベアとが敗北する可能性なんて生涯に一度のみ夢見ることを許されるかどうかくらいほんのわずか。つまり限りなくゼロとみなせるほどに絶対にその勝率はほとんどゼロだから、ベルンがそういうお茶を濁した言い方になるのは仕方がない。でもあなたに夢を持たせた点についてだけは騙してると言い切れるわ。だって天文学的な確率を乗り越えてあんたが勝利できたとしても、家族が帰ってくるのはあんたのところじゃない。この1986年に存在する6歳の正しい後ろ宮エンジェのところへよ。あんたのところにじゃない。ベルンはそれでも100億のかけらをめぐりあんたに一番マシな世界を探すでしょうね。そしてその彼女が言ったんじゃないの？手土産に持参するつもりだが見つけられなかったと。
言ったわ。
Yeah, don't fully believe everything that this child is saying, by the way.
そろそろ気づいてきた？あんたこの戦いにご褒美が用意されてないのよ。いえ、それどころかベアと打ち破ればゲーム版は消え去る。そしてその駒であるあんたも消え去る。あんたに享受できるゴールは完全に、いいえ、私の名において宣言するわ。この絶対の魔女ラムダデルタの名において絶対にないと宣言する。
そんな。
それがベルンの嘘よ。煙に巻いたと言うべき。あんたに救いがあるかのように誤解させた。私はそれを解きに来たのよ。
つまり私はどう戦いどう勝利を収めようとも私のところに家族は帰ってこないの？
Maybe yes, but most likely no.
ええ、帰ってこない。絶対に絶対の魔女が絶対にって言ってるの。これってすごいことよ。私に絶対が与えられたくて歴史的建造物を捧げた古代の王たちが何人もいたのに、私はそれを気前よくあんたにはプレゼントしちゃうの。これってばとっても素敵でキュートでマーベラスなことなのよ。
I don't know about the cute part.
でも一つだけいい提案があるの。
Damn. I'm getting completely overwhelmed. I knew I shouldn't have listened, and now I'm starting to be overwhelmed by this witch, Lambda Delta. Now what is she
私
doing?
の相手はベルンであってあんたじゃない。私とあなたが共に得をする話はあり得るとさっき言ったはずよ。最初から私はそういう話をすると言っているわ。だから耳を貸しなさい。貸すしかないのよ。
聞くわよ。聞いてやるわよ。
God damn it, Ange.
聞けばいいんでしょ。
I finally lost control over my emotions and exploded from the inside. I don't have a clue anymore. I believe that I was Ange, but at some point I stopped being Ange. That's right, I'm Ange, not Ange. This is really hard to do speaking out loud. Who am I? I'm not my parents' child, nor my brother's little sister. I'm just a piece in a witch's game.
そう そこまで悲観することはないわ。だってよく考えて、今あんたはバトラお兄ちゃんに出会えているわ。確かに自らの名を名乗ることはできないけれど、それでも少なくとも魔女と戦うゲームの味方同士という位置にいて、いつまでも永遠に一緒にいることができる。意味わかる？
I can't stand it, but I understand. In other words, as long as Oni-chan keeps getting a tie in this game, it will continue forever. Continuing to tie means continuing the game for eternity. And it means that I can remain with Oni-chan as a piece. But if Oni-chan wins or loses and the curtain closes on the game...
駒であるあんたは消える。ゲームの駒の幸せは何？ゲームで遊んでもらうことだけよ。押し入れにしまわれて埃をかぶることじゃないわ。そうでしょ？
In the past, the Seven Sisters of Purgatory said it as well. Furniture's happiness comes from being used, not being stored away. That's right. I am now the witch's furniture.
話を少し変えるわね。実は私、このゲーム、永遠に引き分け続けてほしいと思ってるの。終わらないゲームは永遠の檻。ベルンを今度こそ屈服させる未来永劫に開かれることのない絶対密室よ。ベアとはね、一応は勝つ気があるの。バトラを屈服させるという勝利ね。でもね、実はそれも私には困るのよ。
That means no more
だっ
games.
てゲームが終わっちゃったら密室が崩れてしまうもの。だから私、バトラが屈服することだけはないように、ある程度の手心は加えてるの。安心して。バトラが屈服しかけると、私は彼の味方になったりもしてるのよ。ただね、どうもベアとのやつ、それにうすうす気づき出してる気がする。このゲームに自分の勝ちは永遠にないんじゃないかって気づき始めてる気がする。でもそこはさすが無限の魔女。ベアとはバカだから、それでもいつかきっと勝てる。それまで延々と無限にゲームを繰り返せばいいと楽観してるわ。金髪の女は大抵考えが足りないって決まってるものよ。
Fucking ouch.
この魔女の
Sorry to all the blondes out there, I
勝
guess.
利も敗北もないってことなの？
私が勝たせない。そして負かせない。絶対に。ベルンはそれに気づいてる。そしてそれを破るために最も強力
I
な
will
駒
say
と
this.
してあんたを見つけ
Lambda Delta definitely kind of came out swinging as like a bit of
このゲー
the,
ムを終わらせるためにね。
you know, the top dog in a lot of this.
このゲームを
With the way that she spoke to Beatrice.
終われば駒の役目ははっきり断言する。
Or spoke of Beatrice. I don't remember how it went
あん
down.
たは存在が矛盾してるのよ。
But she's in control, it seems.
自らの存在理由が自らを闇に葬り絶望するため。
My goal is to defeat Beato and release my captive family. And yet even if I succeed, I won't be rewarded.
負けられない。そして勝っても報われない。だから私は第三の選択肢をあなたに持ってきたの。
What, leave?
そしてその選択肢は私とあなたの利害を一致させるわ。
Continuing the tie for all eternity.
そう、永遠に引き分け続ける限りこの世界は崩壊しない。この世界は何？魔女とのゲームの世界。ベアトとバトラが永遠に戦い続ける世界。そして同時にあなたが永遠にバトラと一緒にいられる世界なのよ。
My head was spinning. That confusion became a hot liquid, and I felt it pouring from my eyes. It was so hot, it felt like it burned my face.
ねえ、エンジェ・ベアトリーチェ、ゲームを終わらせ、あなたとバトラの交流できる世界を終わらせようとするのが目的のベルンカステルに味方する理由がどこにあんの？
I feel like what she's doing right now is really fucked.
あの子はあんたを
It's kind of
騙して
obvious
たの
what
よ。
she's doing,
自分の駒になれば
using a
あんたが救わ
lot
れ
of
るかのよう
words
に
and
ごまか
twisting
して
them
ね。
around.
でも私はそこをごまかさない。だから言うわエンジェ、私の駒になりなさい。私はベルンのように 絶対にもらえない嘘のご褒美なんてちらつかせないわ。私の駒となり、このゲームが絶対に終わらないように私に協力する限り、私はあんたにこの世界が絶対に続くことを我が名において絶対に約束する。それだけじゃないわ。ボーナスもつけてあげる。あなたに課せられているルール、それを取り払ってあげるわ。まあもちろん私の駒になると誓ってもらった後にだけどね。
In my own throat, there was a thick, loud gulping sound. I shouldn't have listened. If I hadn't listened, I could have remained an innocent little sister praying for my brother's victory. But I might be different now. I might have been degraded into a witch's furniture. One that cares about nothing but being Oni-chan's side, or by being by Oni-chan's side. There we go.
兄を裏切れと言ってるわけじゃないんだからね。バトラが負けそうになったら全力で助ければいい。逆にバトラがペアと追い詰めすぎたら少し加減を変えてあげてほしいと、その程度のお願いをしてるのよ。大丈夫、バトラを裏切るほどの必要はないわ。バトラ一人じゃベアトには勝てない。だからベルンはあんたを送り込んだんでしょ。あんたが手を貸さない限りバトラは永遠にベアトには勝てない。とっても簡単でしょ。
These damn witches and their crazy laughter. And that. Okay. Finally. That was getting a little wild. A little crazy, you may say. And we're chilling with some of the sisters, it seems. We've jumped back to the future. Again, this timeline really do be fucking with me. But we will wrap it up there. That was nutty. I actually don't really know what to think about that one. Though the idea of a perspective, the idea that how we've sort of been coming into this story may not necessarily be from the root of it all, maybe, is an interesting way to look at it. But something just, it feels so off. Now that we're finally following somebody else other than Battler, it really does make me question some things. And with how much we're jumping around as well. So I don't know what to think. And also with the fact that we are jumping around and how the story continues is very weird in that regard as well. Kind of like how Virgilia came to be, you know? Never an inkling of her existing before she popped up. And now she's just here, always. And is referenced. And yeah, so the story has changed. It's strange like that. But I don't know. I really don't. I'll keep on trying to figure it out and probably getting further and further away from an inkling of a truth. But thank you all for tuning into this one. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.